Story, because I'm going to actually use her to teach today. I didn't know her before this, but one of the things that struck me was she was overweight her entire life, right? And how long have you kept the weight off now?
3 years.
So no one would ever suspect she was overweight looking at her now. Doesn't she look great?
Yeah.
Okay. You kept it off for 3 years. How many diets did you try?
I tried a lot, probably like 10 diets.
Did any of them work?
Temporarily.
Temporarily, the weight always came back with
Always came back. Yeah.
friends. That's the way it goes. So now you've been almost 3 years, right? And you're looking trim, feeling great. So thank you. I wanted to teach off this story. Oh, technology. Well done, James. So we're going to talk about why Isagenix makes you leaner, healthier, and younger. So who's in Isagenix right now? Most of the crowd. All right. So who's feeling leaner, raise one hand. Now, so this is an exercise. Keep it up. Raise your other hand if you're feeling healthier. And if you're younger, stand up and make some noise. This is an interactive show. You actually have to. There'll be lots of this today. There's Sarah. Oh my goodness. There's a little bit head here. All right. So I didn't Photoshop this couple. They're actually real. It's funny when people say the darndest thing. I actually know them. This is 4 years later. This change was in 90 days. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to share some other stories besides Sarah. This is Craig Coleman. Been fat his whole life. At the age of 32, decided to change his life. Failed on all other dietary intervention. Lost over 100 pounds. Won the Isagenix competition. And he's kept the weight off now for 2 years. Our own Holly DeMott, same thing. She called herself the fat prom queen. Fat her whole life. Has been slim and attractive now for over 2.5 years. Failed on every other intervention. And our own Jill Burr, same story as Sarah. In grade school, went to get weighed by the school nurse. The school nurse says, "You weigh more than me." Grade 3, she weighed 140 pounds. Right? She's now kept it off. Extraordinary. Going to become a fitness model. So we have a bit of a problem. According to the CDC, 9 out of 10 Americans are now fat. There's no nice way of saying that. Right? But this is the worst part. I didn't Photoshop this one either. People make up the darndest things. Did you ever think you'd see this in our lifetime? Now, Michael Klaus and I are the same age. Right? Michael Klaus, when I went to school, how many fat kids were in the school? Out of 500. One? One? Now, a third of the kids are overweight. And we're blaming the kids, we're blaming the parents. Really? And how come everyone keeps getting fatter? Because what have you been told? What have you been told? Right? What was Sarah told her entire life? You're fat because you eat too much. And you don't? Exercise. Really? Has it worked out well for our nation? Are we the fattest nation on the planet? Yes. Is this working? No. So is it your fault? After today, there's no excuses. So Isagenix decided to take the fight to the medical community and decided to compare our system to the leading medical doctor diets. Do diets work? Well, no, we just saw they don't work. We just had Sarah, who's tried over 10 diets, says they don't work. So we decided to look at the leading medical doctor diet versus Isagenix 30-day. How did it turn out? Great for Isagenix. So the first thing is Isagenix on average lose about 6.4 pounds of fat a month. Now I told that story in Canada and Isagenix millionaire got mad at me. He says, "That's not true." I said, "It's true." He says, "Not true." "It's true." "Not true." "True." I said fat loss, not weight loss. The theoretical maximum fat loss for humans healthily done is 8 pounds a month. Now you may lose 15 to 20 pounds, which is the average weight loss in Isagenix, but you're losing inflammatory water weight. Realistically, 6.4 pounds as a medical doctor, I'm pretty excited. Because that means in 6 months you can lose almost 40 pounds of pure body fat. That is life transforming. And that's why Craig, Holly, Jill, and our own Sarah had those results. Yes, we definitely need more cooling if you're fanning yourself back there.
They've turned it down.
All right, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
All right. The most exciting thing as a doctor is they lost, in Isagenix, 1.6 pounds of visceral fat in one mouth. And if you know what that is, they also call it deep belly fat. It's associated with high cholesterol levels, high inflammatory levels. It's what kills us. The number one predictor of mortality in humans in terms of fat is visceral fat, and it's really hard to get rid of years of intervention. And this is in 1 month, and Isagenix lost 1.6 pounds. And there was one other thing that came out of the study that I'm not allowed to speak on, or Kathy Cougar will kill me, but it's unfortunate because it was even more powerful than those two. But I want to teach you what visceral fat is. So on your left is a normal person, 120 pounds. Yellow is fat. You can see it on the outside. Red is muscle, white is bone. In the center, the black is, well, air. And then there's organs. You can see very little in the middle, right? Now, if you look on this side, what do you notice different? There's more fat, yellow on the outside, but what do you notice in the middle? Yeah. So you get fat on the inside and the outside. And on the inside, where does it squeeze? All your organs. Major predictor of mortality and disease. So we're not the only ones that noticing dieting doesn't work. Newsweek had a huge article, and they had interesting, fat cells are waging war on your health. We're going to talk more about that. Now, we talked about diets. Pennington Research Center is wonderful. They actually studied all the calorie-restricted diets for 2 years. Okay? And what they found was, first of all, almost everyone gains the weight back. But there's a bigger problem, is that when you gain the weight back, it turns out 1/3 of your weight loss was actually muscle and bone. So when you gain the weight back, you're actually way fatter than when you started, even if you weigh the same. So you think about serial dieters, what happens is even if their weight doesn't change, over time you're just eating away your lean muscle mass and eating away your bone density. Horrible. Very interesting, our own Dr. Michael Coben. Is anyone familiar with Dr. Michael Coben? Yeah. We're very lucky to have him, but he did a study on this, and he took triathletes, trained 5 to 6 hours a day. And he paged them over the intercom. And what's amazing is these athletes all had body fat less than 10%. Now I know some of you are trying to share Isagenix with athletes. This is really important. Okay? These are world-class athletes. What's interesting is they lost 4.2 pounds of fat in 1 month. A modified 30-day, they had extra protein. They reduced their body fat by 3%. They increased their lean muscle mass by 2.8%. Which means basically they weighed the same, they gained muscle mass. All the performance went up. That was in 30 days. It's extraordinary. But what does it show you? They lost fat and they gained what? Muscle. On Isagenix. Whereas if you do calorie restriction diets, what happens is you lose weight and you lose muscle. So if it's all about calories, and it's all about, hey, you're fat because you eat too much and you don't exercise enough. Can someone explain to me why diet sodas make us fat? And this isn't my opinion. There was a study done by the University of San Antonio, Texas. Texans are mean. And for 10 years, they took different people, they took away their drinking water, and they gave them diet soda. And 70% of them got fat from drinking diet soda. 0 calories. So it's about calories. How can 0 calories make you fat? So it can't be about calories, obviously. So there's got to be something else going on. And the something else is inflammation. Now, Time magazine had a great article on this. They called it the secret killer. In terms of high levels of body inflammation is one of our major health challenges we're facing. It makes you fat. It causes Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. All the major diseases are a result of high body inflammation. We're going to talk a lot about that today. It's an IQ test for the audience. There is an audience that did fail this, so do your best. So I want you to tell me which couple, it's the same couple, which shot, left or right, they have high body inflammation. So if you think they have high body inflammation on the left, raise your hand. And those of you who think it's on the right, raise your right hand. Well, you did much better than the last audience in Canada, I'll tell you that much. But why do you think they're inflamed on the left? They're not just fat, what are they?
Fat generates inflammation.
You give me an explanation, you jumped ahead, Tom. Tom just jumped ahead. You can't do that. Observation, they're not only overweight, what else are they? I know you have x-ray vision, I get that, but there's something even more fundamental. What are they? They're swollen. They're bloated. You're doing really well for the last part. They're swollen, right? It's not that they're fat, they're puffy, because it turns out I have to explain inflammation to you. Now, inflammation is kind of simple. You don't have a science background, I'll make it easy. Basically, it's like I put gasoline on the inside of your body and I lit a match. And when I light a match, your little immune system comes along with little firefighters and tries to put it out with what? Water. Remember we talked at the beginning about the 10 to 15 pounds of water weight you lose in Isagenix the first month? That's the inflammatory water weight. That's what's going on here. All right, so let's just concept. Inflammation high is? You know, it's not kind of hard. I took the answer up. We'll try again. Inflammation high is? Bad. Okay, because what happens is when your inflammation high is your fat storing hormone cortisol rises really high, and it puts on what? Deep belly fat, and your anti-aging growth hormone drops. So inflammation high is bad. Cortisol goes up. Growth hormone goes down. Right. So, inflammation low is good. You're getting it. Because inflammation, when it's low, it means cortisol is low. Try again. Cortisol is low. Because growth hormone now goes high. And growth hormone is our anti-aging hormone. It's beautiful. What it does is it burns fat, puts on lean muscle mass, and thickens your bones. I'm going to introduce a concept. My sister's here today. She's over in the corner. She doesn't know I'm going to pick on her all day. So hi, stand up, Janice. Say hi. She's not shy. That's the good news. Hi, that's my sister, Janice. Thank you, Janice. Yeah. But I want to share a concept. My sister said to me, we have a lot of longevity in my family. And my sister says, you know, she just turned 50 and I'm 52, and she says, we're going to be around for another 50 years. We've got to take care of our bodies. Just think of that going forward. Think about, we're talking about this program, but think of the next 50 years. If you're in this for the long game, you've got to think a whole lot different about how you're going to take care of that body you're walking around with. So inflammation low is? Good. Cortisol is low, which means growth hormone is? High. Ah, very good. So let's talk about what triggers inflammation. You made some of this observation earlier. Which one of the #1 causes? Stress. Poor nutrition. Your own fat. Remember that news week? We're talking about fat wages war on your health. Fat's really neat. Of all the organs in the body, fat's one of the worst. Because what fat does is when you put on more fat, it makes a hormone called obesogens. Isn't that a horrible name? Your fat makes obesogens. Guess what it makes you? Fatter. It makes other cells make you fatter, and at the same time it causes what? Total body inflammation. So your own fat makes you fatter and makes you more inflamed. All right, what else we got on here? Chronic pain, bad sleep, long or lack of wrong exercise, and stress. That's whether it's physical, emotional, or oxidative stress. All of these things really affect your inflammation levels. We're going to talk about toxins because we have something in this program for that. CNN did a 2-day special, which I love. So the average person, according to Mount Sinai School of Medicine, has 167 toxins in their body. 167 toxins. Wow. Now I put this gallon of pesticide up here to make a point. How many of you eat organic only, wild fish? You can raise your hand if you do. I hope that my sister eats that way. Okay? There's a handful of us. Well, let's put it in perspective. For those that eat conventional food, that gallon of pesticide you consume annually in your conventional fruits and vegetables and your conventional meat. Okay? It's so bad that if I actually made you drink that, you would be dead within 1 minute and not resuscitatable. The theory from the chemical warfare company that makes the pesticide and fungicide that you eat on your food, Josh, what they do is, the theory is that if we eat a little bit every day, it's okay. Is it okay? No, because it causes massive body inflammation. All right, so you have 167 deadly toxins, including trans fat and man-made fat, pesticides, fungicides, aldehydes, jet fuel, lead, arsenic, mercury. They're all in what you're eating, the air, putting on your skin. All right.